I'm getting the smoker lit right now, and it's been raining for a few days, so there's like no dry pine straw at all, and I am notorious for not storing any. So fortunately, the last time I lit the smoker when I was doing this hive, I didn't need it lit for very long. It was a fairly quick inspection, so all of the pine straw and the sticks that I had used last time were sitting dry and cold for a few weeks, and I'm using that as my fire starter, and then layering the wet pine straw, and then layering some dry, and back and forth. So let me show you, it's doing really well. Yeah, it's super, super strong. I'm very happy with it, and don't want to jinx things, but I probably won't need this lit for very long, but this is my pile of dry stuff, so I'm just putting that layer in for now. So as the flames move around, they'll have some fuel, help dry out the wet pine straw. And it didn't rain overnight, so at least all this pine straw is not totally fresh soaking wet. However, you know, it's morning dew, and it's just been sitting for 3 days. So I'm gonna give it a few more puffs. It sounds good, smells fantastic. Seriously, like, I don't know why people buy like different candles and things. You could just burn a little pine straw, smoke your house, and it'll smell great. Okay, so just to show you, I didn't check the camera yet, but there's definitely been a possum who's been visiting, and one of my plans over the winter was to put chicken wire across here, because although we've got the electric fence, the possum, we've not only watched him go right under it and not be fazed at all by the electric fence, but he'll come from right underneath and just bother the hive. So you don't need that. I'm just gonna give a few little puffs over here, let them know we're coming. A little bit at the back entrance. I do have the IPM board in still. I'll just give a few little puffs there. And it's still gonna be fairly chilly. Put this over here for at least overnight lows. It's gonna be like 37 one night in the next few nights. So I like to wait until it's in the 50s overnight before I remove that. All right, it looks like fantastic coverage in here. It smells really, really good. The smoker is requiring a little bit more babysitting just to keep it going. I think the pine straw is just a little too wet, but as you can see, they're just kind of hanging out. There's one checking me out, but they're really calm this morning. Planning to make this fairly quick. I don't plan on doing a full hive inspection. I might do that next weekend. I just want to see how they're filling out this box, and I've already brought another one to give to them. I definitely jinxed this being a quick inspection. I started to go through the top box, and they were pretty much at capacity, and I saw a full frame of drone brood, and that's usually a sign that they are about to swarm or are in the stages of swarming or may have already swarmed. So I decided to keep going. I also saw some really good frames that would be perfect for creating a nuke, and I wanted to set up some more hives here, so I started setting up a nuke with some really great frames with fresh eggs and some brood of all stages. And then I noticed a queen cup on one of those frames with an egg in it, which means they're just starting that swarm process, which means I had an opportunity to go find the queen. The queen usually doesn't leave until just before or just as those queen cups get capped. So there's still about a week of a time frame from laying the egg to when they get capped that you have a chance to find the queen and to do kind of an artificial swarm and move her. Sorry for the background noise. So now I have 2 hives. So I was able to find the queen, and I actually forget which queen name this is. I have to check my notes. But she is set up here, so I decided not to make a separate nuke. Instead, I just did a split. So I gave them a really great bottom box, and then their top box is a checkerboard of no foundation and some drawn comb, plus some frames of some nectar and honey. So they have everything that they need in here. I have a robbing screen on the front, and I'm gonna keep that closed for the next day just to give them a chance to get settled. And then because it does have fresh honey on those frames, I didn't want it to be like sending an alarm out to all of the hornets and things in the area to come rob them out. So just if anyone does come to check it out, they'll see that it's sealed up, and then hopefully they'll forget about it. So tomorrow is going to be raining, so it'll be a good day to open it, and they shouldn't have too much activity. I'm leaving the other hive, the original one, with the 3 boxes. So what I ended up doing is I did a full inspection, and the bottom box had some brood, but it was fairly empty. So instead I just rotated it to the top. So there is brood in every single box, so it's all in the center, but they have a lot more space to fill out in the top. And now that they're going to be focusing on creating a queen, there's not going to be any laying. So as the nectar flow is just kicking off, this is the perfect time. So they're just going to focus on storing honey. So it's a perfect time for all this to happen. And I guess it was a good jinx. So curious what's happening in your hives right now.